and better and better and easier. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on this fine Thursday. The week is flying by. Quick week. And I got a bit of a show for you today. It's a pleasure to be back. You know, a bit of a show. You know, is there much going on? You know, nothing so hard-hitting I could find. So I got a number of things we'll get into. Loosey-goosey Thursday. Call it loosey. Call it goosey. Okay. On this Thursday, before we switch it up tomorrow, right? Friday. On this channel, we switch it up a little bit. So kicking it back maybe a little bit with some of the stuff we haven't gone to this week. A number of things. Some wins. A little bit of glazing, as they say, of Trump. Okay, because he's expanding the American empire. Sovereignty be damned. You know, that's why things like the Panama Canal isn't under American control anymore. They were like, it's ours. It's our sovereign land. We own it. Yeah, Trump does not care about that. It shows that he gets it, but he's working with the world. Interesting things out there. You know, he's with those with the Muslims out there, but they're a different kind of Muslim. They're a modern Muslim. The new age Muslim. The Dubai Muslim, somewhat of an interesting relationship, right, between these states, these nations trying to, what is it? How else can I put it? You know, I can only put it in my instinctual ways without real knowledge of all that. It seems, right, that there's these nations like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and they're trying to be all modern, right? Like, yeah, we're Muslim, but you don't have to wear the hijab, and we want to make money with everybody in the world, and please don't bomb us. Please, 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 please don't bomb us. We just want to make money. So they're out there with Trump and showing him a great time. And they're not wearing hijabs. You know, it's just kind of interesting. A hybrid Muslim, the new Muslim. And a number of things. Look, people are mad about so many things. Making heroes out of illegals. Openly talking about racial justice and reparations in ways that it must have been always, if you've been watching the shows, etc., been paying attention, it seems like it's been like that, but just going nuts, right? With the mask off. What we want is to make these white people pay. So, a number of things here. Look, appreciate you tuning in on this fine Thursday. 888-775-3773. If you want to get in on the conversation, something on your mind, you want to get off your chest, etc., you can call in. But what's up to my viewers? Welcome, everybody. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. DLive.tv/Gorgonzola. How you doing? Gerta? And appreciate it, everybody on YouTube. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Just rolling in. Mr. G. You talk about Mr. G. You know, your teacher. Why are you guys talking about jungle Asians in the chat? Am I wrong? Am I a bad teacher? When you look at the region, when you just simply look at the region, am I wrong in calling them the jungle Asian nations? I see you guys are remarking on some of my strange geographical theories, racial theory. No, it's just jungles. Okay, it's like these are jungle Latinos, right? Because you start going down into South America. Right, okay, you start Mexico, and it's dry, deserty sometimes, but then it gets super mountainous. Right, there's a whole bunch of Latinos in this area, big region. It gets pretty jungly here, no? These are all jungle Latinos. I don't know. You could say this whole region is like jungle European, jungle Spaniards. Maybe in some perspective, or am I describing the ignorance of the modern education? Really, they say the Anchor Baby's so smart. I think I'm expressing what a modern education is just kind of sort of knowing stuff. Coming up with terms. Now we're going to call them jungle Spaniards. That'll be real. Anyways. Modern education, internet education is what it is. You know, I get internet educated about the cultures, about the peoples. I find it fascinating. This is Trump over there in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, okay? And they're showing him a great time. They're showing him a great time. I don't even know where he's coming in from or what, but they're showing, right, ceremonies. They got the drums, they got the, what's this? Look at all that hair. You see all that hair? I first saw this, I'm thinking this is a criminal offense. Are those women, are those like untouchables? Are those like lower class women revealing their face for Trump, given unto him in some Islamic, obviously I'm an ignorant person. Okay. But offering them to Trump in a right lower class, they've revealed their faces. Trump's not their husband. Trump's not married to them. I'm seeing your hair. I see your hair and your faces. Beautiful faces. Can we even look closer? They seem fair. They're the fairest of the untouchables, but no. It turns out they're not untouchables. Come on, guys. Right? We could joke around. But they're not untouchables, okay? They're allowed to have... This is apparently an older cultural dance. A cultural thing. It's a cultural thing. We're being educated in the comments. They're saying, look, to those unfamiliar with our culture and who express surprise at a young girl's performing traditional Emirati dances like al-Na'ashat. This is not a new trend, nor is it a performance borrowed from modern influences. It's a deeply rooted part of our heritage, tradition proudly passed from generation to generation. How many generations, Emirati? Call me I don't know, rude for questioning the validity of a culture, What's an Emirati? I heard the UAE's pretty young, like 1970s. I know this video looks all old, like, wow, this is such an old traditional. This looks like the kind of footage you could get from the 70s, which is like when this country was created. I'm not trying to be rude here, like, oh, your culture isn't really old. Your nation isn't very old. I don't know. They just say that so quickly, right? For Americans, for example, hundreds of years in this. How many generations do you have to be somewhere for it to count, huh? It seems to me like it's about skin color, really. A little deeper than that. Nobody really sees skin color, if I could be really honest. It's nation and those delineations. But what was I saying? Yeah, forgive me for doubting the what's the word? Credibility even of your culture. But so forgive me. Apologies. Mohammed S. Al-Masroui. But that's language, this language and people, Arab, all that. That's pretty old, right? So they shake their hair. It's a culture. It's a cultural dance. And it's a thing in the UAE. You can let your hair out, by the way. You can let your hair down. It's not that kind of Muslim, okay? They're progressive. They're with it. No hijabs. Unlike, Iran? They have a Wikipedia on this, if you needed to check it. They got a Wikipedia on it. Islamic veiling practices by country. Like I said, the UAE, nice and modern. Let's see, where do they put that? The Emirates. They don't have a law on that. No law banning such a thing. So you don't have to do it. I'm sure you could culturally do what you like. Saudi Arabia, until the Islamic revivalism, which occurred in Saudi Arabia after the Grand Mosque seizure, 79, no legal requirements for women to veil. So then the Islamic revival happened, and then it's like, okay, now you got to be under hijabs. It's just how it goes under Islamic rule, I guess. But until 2018, the Saudi Arabian dress code required all women, local and foreign, to wear an abaya, a garment that covers body and arms. So loosening, and in 2018, they made it clear head coverings no longer required. It's a new Muslim. They're trying to make deals with Trump, using the money to make amazing cities, and they so they want stability. They want to make deals. It's an interesting time. It's definitely an interesting time. We'll see how it all goes down. There's news today that was coming out. This is definitely out of my wheelhouse, but you hear about it. War, looming war. It comes down essentially to weapons of mass destruction. And so they're saying, look, the news is Trump is saying that they're very close to a nuclear deal. Of course, he wants to say that, and that's the desire. That's the big desire here, the big move, striking a deal. But it comes down to nukes and stuff. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Thursday that Washington is very close to reaching a nuclear deal. Iran has sort of agreed to the terms. They're not going to make, I call it, in a friendly way, nuclear dust. We're not going to be making any nuclear dust in Iran. He's basically talking about enriched uranium, I have to assume, right? Nuclear dust. This material, this radioactive material that could be used to make energy or make weapons, okay? It's essentially how it goes. And again, it's out of my wheelhouse, but I swear I've been saying this for a bit, just instinctually. And it should be clear. It's like obvious, I guess. This third possible way of dealing with the region. Who gets what? How about nobody gets anything? The white man returns, Europe returns, dominates the region, takes away all their nuclear dust. No more. Sorry. You can't. Nope, that's no more toys. Oh, sorry. Time out. No more toys. They're all gone. No more toys, no more nukes, no more bombs. Because it seems to be, the more I learn about it, it's like this is the center of it all. The center of it all. They want to kill each other. They want to fight and kill each other. So what can Trump even do? Kick the bucket down the road or whatever. Or these are the beginnings, right? The beginning signs of a dominating the region, because, this nuclear dust is, as he says, right? He says it nicely, nuclear dust. Iranian officials haven't publicly commented on Trump's remarks, though the comments were reported by the country's semi-official ISNA news agency. I mean, this is like really, I don't know if it's breaking stuff. Yeah, this is really on. This is just reported today, right? He's over there, and the whole thing is the looming war. So you understand its importance, I guess, even if I don't quite understand it. It's important, right? Just deal with the nuclear dust, sir. I think you're doing a great job. So, will he do it? Will he do this Herculean effort to make this the impossible happen? Amazing stuff. But they're out there, shaking their hair, and they're doing it. So, just a little bit about the Arabs. Will they do it? I mean, let's just imagine what's in the way of peace. Insane racial, religious fighting. Is that too simplistic in my mind? Should I leave this all this for the experts on all this? Foreign policy. The desert people want to kill each other. And they really, really want to do it. And some are willing to work with the world and say, okay, fine. Okay, we don't want, well, okay, no bombs. Okay, just can we work that out? Can we make some money together? Others are like, bombs forever. So, anyways, call it simplistic. Call it I'm ignorant. Let's move on, huh? Let's move on, because while they're fighting about all that over there, the end of the anchor baby is looming. I can't help but mention it. You know, I see it in the news, and it's like, this is about me, but it's not. I've already said what I got to say about it. You guys know. It's an abuse of the law. It's an abuse of the law that continues today. It's crazy. There are some... this one's alleged, okay? There was a caller on C-SPAN. I guess they do a show. C-SPAN caller exposed Chinese birth houses in America, where the Chinese government allegedly sends pregnant women in their 7th or 8th month to give birth on U.S. soil, securing citizenship for their kids. She was pregnant, and just in the last moment, she hopped over the border and gave birth to the anchor baby. These children are then taken back to China, raised there, can later return as U.S. citizens. This was a post by this someone here on X, and they post this video of this moment, this caller on C-SPAN.
Eddie in New York.
Eddie in New York. So, anyways, you know how it goes. Caller on a show, but that's the word.
York Independent Line. Good morning.
Hi, yes, I was just wondering, I would like to know if your guest knows what a Chinese maternity house is. They're houses where the Chinese government takes citizens that when they're in their 7th or 8th month, they ship them here for a month, they let them have their children, and then once they have their children, they take them back to China, where now they're U.S. citizens.
I can't confirm that, right?
But they're raised in China, they're loyal to China. We know they're doing it, but they're still getting away with it. And on the other one, with that 2-year-old kid, I noticed how when you read the thing that the daughter was from the 2-year-old, where the baby was here. We kept her here because the mother was from Tren de Agua. And why would we send the baby back with a mother like that? Thank you.
I don't even, sorry, I got checked out there for a second. My apologies, but you understand. They're calling it about the Chinese birth houses, but you don't have to even get crazy with it. Birth tourism, that's a known thing. Just know if something's exploitable, it will be exploited. It's the way it goes. How much simpler can you put it, right? So, as someone who's benefited from such exploitation, thank you, Mama. They're talking about it. This is going to the Supreme Court. Trump has already challenged it in that it starts with Trump's executive order. And so this is, as you know, the challenges of, you could call it the challenges, you could call it the wonders, the greatness of the government, of our system. The challenges are, executive orders needed to be codified into law for lasting effects beyond Trump, beyond this administration. This is another one of those relationships. Basically, they're saying we're gonna be cool with the word is basically it seems like they're saying, the CNN is saying that the Supreme Court seemed open to lifting a series of nationwide orders blocking Donald Trump from enforcing his birthright citizenship policy. But on anything further than that, they're wrestling with the implications of allowing the government to deny citizenship to people born in the U.S. So you see this hybrid thing where they're like, okay, we'll let you work on this executive order seemingly and do what you want to do in your term. But the question remains, can this be a transformational thing? Or is it just the moves of a president? Now, Trump's doing his best. I think we see that. But what am I saying here? Look, we're talking about millions upon millions of people. What did they say? Only like 8 million came in just during Biden's term alone, no? 8 million. So that's enough. That's enough. That might be the end. Will they retroactively remove citizenships? It remains to be seen. Thank you, 13 above. Appreciate that. It remains to be seen, you know. Will the anchor baby remain? If you guys start acting right, straight up, if the anchor babies in the country started acting right, it wouldn't be too big of a deal. You know, we won't be on the trains out of here. So smarten up, okay? So show some love. Stop asking for so much. Huh? I got calls coming in, 888-775-3773. We'll get to super chats and calls and all that. But what can I say? Well, whatever. SCOTUS, do it. Make it happen. Bring that ladder up. It's done. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Belated. The day has passed. But thanks, yeah. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Like, subscribe, you know, don't be rude. Say hello. At the very least. Jump in, say hello. Click the like button. But okay, we got some more stuff here. I want to get into a couple more wins here on the world stage with Trump. You know, stuff I had no clue about, by the way. You know, you may have heard of it. We're the American economy, which is what? The people. And generated by what? Your work. You're working and you have no clue that you, in a sense, are paying for a whole nother country's medical, pharmaceuticals, etc. It's one of those almost criminal relationships Trump dared to shake up status quo so many are comfortable with, a comfortable slavery. And you know, when you shake that up, you're going to have people, even the slaves themselves, even the comfortable slaves themselves, clamoring for you to stop. This is too painful. This is too painful, like the tariffs and all this stuff, okay? Transformation, scary stuff. But we got Gerda. Is it Gerta? Gerta. Gerda, nice to have you on the line. Wait, hold on. Let me unmute you here. We got Gerda from down south. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
What's up, Nick?
Hey, Gerda. How you doing? First-time caller.
¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, I'm fine. Appreciate it. You're gonna what?
I was wondering if I could get through. I just took a wild chance to see if I could get through.
Yeah, I've first-time caller. First time I've seen you in the chat as well. Thanks for watching on Rumble and appreciate your support.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person that watches your show on Rumble.
On Rumble right now, everyone's kind of moved back to YouTube. We got a few people on Rumble. They stay quiet, is what it is.
Yeah.
But thanks. So how'd you find my
cool.
show?
I'm glad I got through. Do you have anything? I don't know if you have anything controversial to talk about today.
Controversial? Should I just get to it? What's the most controversial thing I have on my packet here? There's this the controversial things I have here. I didn't quite look into them. I'm a little wary in even getting into them. There's this fight between these two kids, and this white boy was left bleeding, and they're giving him a bike over it. I don't know if you heard about that one.
No. Who did it to the white boy? Was it another?
I even want to stop myself here because I'm not familiar with the details. But we'll see what we can do here. We'll get controversial, sir. How'd you find my show?
I found you through JLP.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Through Jesse.
Well, right on. Well, thanks for listening and thanks for calling.
You bet, man.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Call me again. 888-775-3773. Little hello from there, from the folks. Let's see here. My little show today. My little packet today. I'm saving some of this stuff for Punchy, too. We got to vacate later. We got to vacate the studio later. We're doing a little bit of filming. But what can we do here? Look. Let me say thanks to the constant coffees from someone here. Thank you for that. Ryan Moon, super chats and all that. Very nice. Okay, let me see here. Let's pull up something interesting here. I know the pharmaceuticals thing was what I was going to get into. The controversial stuff is honestly, folks, the decline of the white population. It's probably one of the most important things, politically, culturally speaking, whatever. So I don't know what's incoming. You know, they're just openly talking about how there should be a justice that needs to be enacted. You saw how the ANC, in response to these white South Africans coming in, being brought in by the Trump administration, that itself being a charge against them to designate them as refugees. Why? Because they are under the rule of this genocidal black-led government. This charge being denied by the same ANC. But in their statement, in their response, if you remember, they accused these people of not being refugees, but of being people that were trying to simply get out of receiving any justice of all the things described, apartheid and all the things. That same language, that same argument, language, mentality is being repeated by top Democrats. They're calling him a top Democrat. You know, I've never heard of this guy, but you know, I have a scope on things. I'm definitely not paying attention to top Democrat Rick Stengel, but here he is on MSNBC. The same mentality, this exact same conclusion, mentality, justification of the ANC government running things in South Africa. So
these are the descendants of the people who created the most diabolical system of white supremacy in human history,
supremacy.
Apartheid. They're not directly responsible for it, but it was a system that actually moved black people off of the arable land. So they inherited the land that the black people had to give up. It was called forced removal. It was something called a Bantustan policy, where they moved black people out of the cities and farmlands into these remote areas with non-arable land. I mean, it was just one of the most worst processes ever. But what has happened in this strange, bizarre world we're living in is that the Afrikaners have become the darling of these right-wing, white supremacist movements around the world. That it's like the lost cause for them. It's like the old Confederacy. They're held up as these white Christians who are being dispossessed of their land. It's like this is a modern replacement theory in a country where, by the way, white people make up 7% of the population and own 78% of the farmland. So it's actually, there's no injustice here. These are.
So you understand, there's no injustice. This is them just escaping. This is them escaping punishment. They're escaping. And they've made these people the darlings, you know. And you know, most people aren't even making them darlings of the right wing. Not a lot. Not everybody's like on the internet, man. You know, some people just see Trump saying, "Hey, these people are refugees for this XYZ." And if you're just an honest person, you can say, "Well, you know what? Actually, if there's someone who's a refugee." You know, and of course, their mere existence challenging the whole concept of refugees, right? Because the concept is they're all the same, but they're not. They're in fact quite different. The distinctions matter, and the distinctions not only matter to the right-wing psycho supremists, as he puts it, as he put it, they're quite important to the non-racists, anti-supremists. They're, in fact, very important to them. You know, the moment you start bringing them in, it was a problem. So, honestly, that's really like the most controversial, some of the few out there and on my mind, on the top of my mind, in my packet. In terms of controversy, I mean, there it is. Let's be real. Like, what's the most pressing issues, the most pressing controversial issues? It's the decline of the white population becoming a white minority in America and the West, Europe, the looming wars. These are, like, politically speaking, in the world. So, you know, we've talked about it. So in a sense, like, in some ways, I don't want to harp on it, especially, you know, because you get it in many ways, especially if we hit it this week. I don't know how else to put it, unless I got something special to say. But take that clip in. I mean, that's just the honest truth. That's the most controversial thing. It's the end. There's no way around that. And some are seeing this as like a 11th hour, maybe. You know, we gotta find. I don't know if they're seeing the decline of the black population being you know, elbowed out by the Hispanic immigrant, all these other immigrants. It's looking difficult out there, right, for the plight of the black equity of black equity, right? They've had to team up with all these groups for so long, and now the revolutionaries will be guillotined by the other revolutionaries. So they're out there making a big stink about reparations again. But it's essentially related to the very exact same thing I'm talking about, okay? People seeing the come up, seeing the possibility to ask for something like this, a push for what? Reparations? It's a push in a declining white America. The only thing making it possible. The only thing making it even a shred of a possibility, okay? But that's what's going on, right? House Democrats to introduce reparations push declares moral obligation to send trillions to black Americans. So forgive me. I mean, you wanted controversy, you wanted the truth. Forgive me for maybe switching it up in a bit here just to keep it different, loosey-goosey on a Thursday, but this is it, straight up. At least I think. What do you think? 888-775-3773. Tell me where I'm wrong. But it's the only thing allowing such a thing. Right, the decline. Allowing this woman, who is this even? Who is this young lady? Representative Summerlee. Summerlee, representing a Democrat, representing out of Pennsylvania. Is it Pennsylvania? What am I getting here? PA, right? Pennsylvania, right? Philadelphia is a city. Anchor baby geography. Philadelphia is not a state, it's a city. So I was right. I was correct from the get-go, right? Ha, yes. I'm smart. Summerlee, what a mess. She's a hell of a gal, I'm sure. Hell of a gal.
A duty to repair. So let's make it clear. There is a debt that does...
I didn't speed this video up. Did I speed this video up? No, it's at one-time speed. So if I slowed her down, will she speak normally?
A duty to repair. So let's make...
Nope, don't do it like that. That's worse. That's definitely worse.
There is a debt that does exist. This country...
Yeah, we're gonna go back to fast mode, which is regular in this case. Understand what's happening.
A duty to repair. So let's make it clear. There is a debt that does exist. This country has taken so much from black folks and has a debt it owes because for over 400 years into this very day, this country has stolen black labor, black lives, black futures. Industries were built and maintained through the subjugation of black people in this...
Do 0.75 speed? You might be right about that. You might be, in fact, as they say, on point.
A duty to repair. So let's make it clear. There is a debt that does exist. This country has taken so much from black folks and has a debt it owes because for over 400 years into this very day, this country has stolen black labor, black lives.
Who's even standing around her? Seriously. Old people, old mad people just, you know, I shouldn't even blame callers when they call in. Like, you know, callers sometimes call in, they have an agenda, right? It's like, I'm here talking about white people. And it's like, well, you know what? I shouldn't even get mad. I shouldn't even like get mad at that. In that at least they're saying up front what they're calling in about. What their whole thing is. And when you look at this,
industries,
okay, you're just standing up for your country.
Industries were built and maintained through the subjugation of black people in this country, and wealth was built and maintained through the discriminatory policies that still plague us to this day. And to be clear, some people directly benefited from it or are direct beneficiaries of it. We have systems that create and perpetuate.
This must be just like a little, oh, how's your little attempt at reparations, right? Like this is just like a paltry little cry in the, or am I right? It's just some House Democrat, right? Anybody could do that. Introduce a reparations push. This is just like a paltry little, just a little shout in the darkness and crickets at this point. You know, holding on. Is that just me? Who else is thinking the same? Just a little shout. How's your little attempt at reparations? Like this must be kind of like the saddest attempt at it yet, or am I just kind of making stuff up?
Imbalances in our society, and you either benefit from it or you are disenfranchised by it. And black people continue to be disenfranchised and harmed by these systems. Others receive advantages.
So you get it, right? So controversial in a sense, right? That's really the major things, huh? If I may, a little bit politically. What are there bigger things than that? Chad, what do you think? The major problems of our time. White decline. Yeah. There's other ones, right? Deeper ones. You'll have to ask maybe someone more, someone with a deeper understanding of themselves, of their self, of whatever that is. Maybe they'll have a better response. But reparations, you think that's the, what else? All about money and power. I have no idea, man. I just opened my eyes. Fair enough. Yeah. Individuals have enough. What are the real problems for individuals, like daily? Where was I? Appreciate the support there. Appreciate that. Demetria. Thank you, Demetria. And all the coffees, too. Generous donation. Thanks, Demetria. Appreciate that. See, that's the thing. I don't even know if it's a rich blatt anymore. You're saying a rich blatt in power. Where'd that comment go? A rich blatt in power begging poor white Americans. Yeah, I wonder if it's even or is everybody, are all the people in what is she, a representative? At this point, not everybody in the government is rich, right? They don't have it like that. Well, I guess maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. America's still pretty rich, huh? Rich enough to make every corrupt politician rich? Or you got to work your way up there, honey. Okay, you just started, okay? You just started yelling about reparations. Okay, we've been doing that. Nice try. Net worth. These people's net worth out there? What is she? Forget now. I was just reporting on her. A representative, right? What is she? Representative Summers Lee. There it is. Not every representative is rich, no? Or are they all rich? How do they make so much money? As public servants, Representative Summers Lee. Is this even like a public thing? Anyways, doesn't matter. Do we care? Wow. People are estimating her net worth to be between $1 million and $5 million. Nice. What do I even know? How that was made, etc. So, anyways, a rich black in power. Yeah, what's up, Gregatron? Kicking it back a bit, loosey goosey. Kind of just going through stuff we never get to. Kind of an easy day, no? I mean, they're out there, right? He's trying to do all the deals. They're dealing with birthright citizenship here a bit. We got some wins under the belt. Are you familiar with the pharmaceuticals thing? Okay, so he called this very important. Transformational, some are calling this. And it's interesting, and definitely in the things I had no idea about. Okay, and it has to do with drug prices. They're calling this the pharmaceutical industry's nightmare scenario. Okay, but he's saying, well, he's describing a situation here. Oh no, am I connected? What the? Tell me I'm live, please. We are reconnecting here. Hold on. What a mess. Hey, no worries. We'll do it live. Look, he's on Truth Social. He's talking, hopefully I'm still live, but he's talking about a big move he's making with the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, I'll just read his Truth Social, honestly. It's educational in and of itself. Okay, and he says here, for many years, the world has wondered why prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals in the United States of America were so much higher in price than they were in any other nation, sometimes being 5 to 10 times more expensive than the same drug, manufactured in the exact same laboratory or plant by the same company. I mean, that on its own is a huge question mark. But why? It was always difficult to explain and very embarrassing because, in fact, there was no correct or rightful answer. The pharmaceutical drug companies would say for years that it was research and development costs, and that all of these costs were and would be, for no reason whatsoever, borne by the suckers of America. Right? If they say it's research and development, well, then why does the American have to take the brunt here? Why do the drug prices have to be so high in America to justify and account for this research and development when asked why the prices vary so much? We are going to do the right thing. He writes, something that the Democrats have fought for many years. Therefore, I'm pleased to announce that tomorrow morning in the White House at 9 a.m., I will be signing one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. Prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 30 to 80%. They will rise throughout the world in order to equalize and, for the first time in many years, bring fairness to America. I will be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world. And that's the thinking on this. It's in a sense, this is all true, right? The thinking is a transformational move, no negotiation. Okay, no, we're not, okay. This is not a negotiation. We're going to force these prices down to where you have it in the lowest nation, and then however that messes you up or wherever you got to move money around, make it happen. But we're gonna get the best price that you give the country. Whichever country gets the best price. A fairness, if so to speak. But what this highlights is really how does something like this happen, right? It happens with the leaders of the country itself, right? So the problem is within. It happens through deals. It just shows the long-standing policy of the American government to sell out the American people, the economy, etc. You know, you only allow that over time, right? The countries who have the lowest price and all that's because they made it happen in a sense. You know, they wouldn't allow otherwise. Like the EU, for example. You know, they set it up in their way where, in many cases, their pharmaceuticals are a lot lower than America. And no one's going to say anything because, well, the deal makers, the deal makers really only making deals for themselves and not the Americans, decided, to make it happen, to have it set up the way they have it in America. They're enriched, everybody's quiet, and the America keeps going to work, paying the high prices, etc. This same relationship, I notice, is riddled throughout the economy. So I see one person, right, just like one person by himself, and those wanting to follow him, going up against that. That's just all I see. Now, let me see. I'm trying to switch the view here. Did I say all that? Did you guys hear all that? Am I still live? I think I'm still live. We're doing it manual. Okay, maybe if I disconnect this computer. Hold on. I think a cable went loose or something. See, we do things where we're running the board from this seat. It's a unique little thing here. So, come on, I'm trying to show you this Trump clip, basically. Here we go. Talking about just that. And the European Union. And the abuse, the abuse relationship that their worker has with the world.
This means American patients were effectively subsidizing socialist healthcare systems in Germany, in all parts of the European Union. They were the toughest of all. They were nasty. And I see that. I see that with trade, too. European Union is in many ways nastier than China. Okay? And we've just started with them. Oh, they'll come down a lot. You watch. We have all the cards. They treated us very unfairly. They sell us 13 million cars. We sell them none. They sell us their agricultural products. We sell them virtually none. They don't take our products. That gives us all the cards, and very unfair. So they're going to have to pay more for health care, and we're going to have to pay less. That's all it is. And believe me, this means American patients.
I just didn't quite know that. And he's just standing up to it. I think that's great. His seemingly just at every turn, the evidence is there. Yeah, his main motivation is America first. Even though he wants all that investment, he wants to work with the world, with the Arabs, make the money, with the Russians. And it's like, what is this guy doing? You think you could just make peace everywhere? You think you could just run around and make deals and make peace with everyone? What is this guy doing? But, he has a limit. The drug companies are like, no, you know what? We're going to rethink all this investment into the U.S. Yeah, I don't think he cares. I think he'll make up that money elsewhere. I think he's committed on his mission here. So anyways, Trump, a little bit of a couple wins there. A couple of wins there I had saved there in the back pocket there on the Loosey Goosey Thursday. Amazing. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, no, thanks for the shout out there, making sure that I'm going. I was thrown off for a moment there. This little box here controls my show, and it's got to be connected. So I thought the internet went down. But that's what I thought. You guys part of the Discord? You could join. It's in the description of the videos. Let me see if I can even open it up here. You guys have Bible studies and all sorts of stuff going on there. If viewers want to be part of that, that's all stuff that I'm not necessarily too familiar with or like necessarily sanctioned. But it's just, sanction means bad, right? That I necessarily support but it's not like I don't support. It's just you're all allowed to make rooms and do stuff in the Discord. So if you want to join the hangar, the description, the link is in the description. You guys have all sorts of comments and suggestions here. So I do appreciate all that. Ayala dance. It's called an Ayala dance. See, I got to be on my Discord during the show. You guys are giving me information on the very things I'm reporting on. Ayala dance, where they move their hair. It's a folk dance deeply embedded in the cultural heritage of the United Arab Emirates and Oman. Deeply embedded since the 70s. This dance performed primarily by men and boys. What? Those were boys? Involves participation. That was something else. My bad. Amazing. Well, thanks for that. Falconing, appreciate all the... Yeah, thanks for that. Giving me information in the chat. Let's see what the viewers have posted. Income needed to buy a home in 2025. Is this black pill real estate content? Is this just black pilling? Or is this what? Is this like, oh, is there a fairness to this? There's something to be said? Or is this just black pilling? Meaning unnecessarily losing hope in not necessarily a constructive way at all, right? Just losing hope. Dashing any dreams of owning a home. Now, this is just a graphic someone posted on the Discord. But, you know, I've done a little looking. I've done a little bit of looking. Trying to paste the image here. Buy a home. Trying to zoom in. Aha. Someone asked me too. Like, why don't I just get into it? Why don't you just get into real estate? I don't know. It might be that easy the way he put it. The way he put it. Usually life is not what you think it is, but anyways, this was just posted on my Discord and viewer content. If you have viewer content to add to here, you can join the Discord. Something I check out every now and again. Viewer content. So usually we've been getting to it on Fridays. So if you guys have stuff to get into on Fridays, jump in the Discord and leave some stuff here for me. We'll probably get to it. All right, amazing. So I got a couple more stories here for you. I want to get to them. We got to finish these up because I will have to vacate the studio for other things. We'll have to be vacating the studio here in a bit. So I want to get to these stories, and then we'll get to super chats and all that. If you're calling in, I'll get right to you. There were some callers there. You guys dropped there. You know, I should keep my calls open in case I see you guys here. So call me back. I'll get to you. 888-775-3773. Now, the last few things here I had for you. They have a new Kilmar Garcia, basically. Okay? And the fee, right? They'll say this is a big deal, right? Because this is just one step away from removing citizens. They're using terms like disappearing. They're disappearing people. Something I heard when people describe China. You know, oh, they're disappearing people. They're making them disappear for criticizing the government or whatever. And these poor individuals, you know, being targeted maliciously by the U.S. government, the Trump administration, and they are being disappeared, right? So, and you got Americans, right? These so-called American citizens. You know, you ask me, maybe you should deport them too, because they're out here protesting. So this is Spokane. Martin Diaz is his name. And this individual is, like the others, accused of besides just being here illegally and not supposed to be here, despite there being previous orders of removal, etc., there's also the crimes they're accused of.
The protest started around 6 o'clock. No word if another will be.
Wait, hold on. That's not where that starts. Martin Diaz, they're saying, bring him home. Let him go.
And we will fight for every person they try to take away from their home.
Well, look at the protest held today outside of the Spokane County Courthouse. Attendees say they are protesting immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE. Good evening. I'm Morgan Ashley. The protest centered around the arrest of Martin Diaz, a Spokane man who was taken into custody by ICE in April. Protesters are demanding he be released. Organizers say Diaz was assaulted and detained by Border Patrol in his own yard without a warrant on April 29th. Diaz has been in the U.S. since he was a toddler and married to a U.S. citizen. Now faces charges of assaulting a federal officer. This protest follows several public ICE arrests in Spokane, like this one. You're looking at video of officers breaking into a car to detain a man in March. Diaz's wife, Kendall, says this is a wake-up call.
I really hope that people will wake up and understand what's actually happening. I think that a lot of people are ignorant.
What's actually happening
right now, and it's super scary.
They're actually, for realsies, you guys don't know, they're actually deporting. They're actually doing it. Like, they used to not do it. And people don't realize that they used to just be allowed to kind of be here, come in illegally, just kind of live a whole life even. Build businesses. And never learn the language. And you hear about that one, that girl, that woman that got pulled over with her family. They had built like a whole life here, illegals for like decades. Not a lick of English, not a lick of English. Yeah, they used to be able to do that. People don't know that. They're not allowed to do that anymore.
Super scary out there.
It's super scary.
People are going missing. It's not just my husband, and I know where he is. What about the
That's right. That's the thing. He married a U.S. citizen, right? So
family members that don't know where their family member is?
The protest.
She knows where her husband is. Her husband is detained by ICE.
Family member is.
The protest started around 6 o'clock. No word if another will be held anytime soon. The Trump administration insists these arrests are of people with criminal charges or backgrounds who threaten public safety or national security. ICE has not commented specifically to us on the arrest of Martin Diaz.
Now, where's the love? Where's the love between a married couple? I gotta wonder sometimes. Where is the like, you know, they probably looked into each other's eyes, right? They probably looked into each other's eyes and were like, I love you. I'm going to marry you. Maybe they even had a little ceremony and they threw the flowers and they were like, that's my family. Look, our family unites and we're married now. And look, I got that. He probably pushed that veil off of her, right? And now you will be Katie Diaz, or whatever her name is. I'm making up her name. Do you take him to be your husband? And she looked into his eyes and said, yes, I will be your wife. I will be your wife. He probably, they maybe even did it at a church with a priest and all that. And he was like, through till death do you part and all that. Maybe he even said all that. But the moment your husband gets deported, I swear, it's like the moment he gets deported, it's like, oh, I'm on a crusade. My husband, I love him. You got to bring him back. Da, da, da. What happened to thick and thin? What happened till death do you part? I swear the moment he gets deported, I swear, wives these days, it's like the moment he gets deported, now it's like, okay, you want to have a crusade? How about just go to your husband? How about just go to I miss my husband. I miss him and I love him. In America only, clearly. Your love is tied to geography, miss. Okay? It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, the state of marriage today. What it means nothing, clearly. Okay? Love does not transcend borders, obviously. It's a shame. It's a shame, and, they probably had made vows. They probably made vows to each other. you know. But those vows met their end at the border. They end at the border, okay? They have borders. Love has borders, okay? There's a limit to your love. So anyways, up here yapping. Yeah, Ivana up here yapping. Instead, go be with your husband. Be like, no, release him from ICE. Send him back and send me back with him. Okay? Nope, it's gotta be like a crusade. It's gotta be a citizen. You gotta change the laws of a whole country before you'd go and follow your husband, huh? Women today. You'd rather the laws of a whole country, a nation undoes itself. You'd rather a nation cave and become something completely different. You'd rather racial and ethnic cleansing of a nation before you'd follow your own husband. And it's the nation you grew up in. The ethnicity, your ethnicity in a sense. No? A woman would rather a nation be racially, ethnically conquered, pilfered by all sorts of cultures and whatnot before she follows her husband. It's crazy. Okay, go be with your husband that you chose to follow, that you chose to marry. Okay, you didn't make a stipulation. You didn't say only with your green card. Okay, God didn't say obey your husband, follow your man only if he has a green card. Okay. So, I'm just saying, folks, just riffing a little bit, having a little fun, but just riffing. It's just, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Yes, I love reading your messages out of context. Maybe most likely I'm always reading them out of context. Probably 9 times out of 10, I'm reading your comments out of context, and it's not what you meant at all. But thanks for being in the chat, clicking the like button, being part of the show. I will be cutting it a little short today in a bit here as we are needing to vacate the studio here. But in the last bit, you're welcome to call in 888-775-3773. Yeah, James CSS Element is a cultured individual. There's a limit to your love. Like a map. Like a map with no ocean. Okay? But what was I saying? Yeah, 888-775-3773. In the last few minutes, if you wanted to get in there, coming to a close here, we really ran through all that stuff, huh? I ran through pretty much all my stuff here. I got random stuff now. Who cares about this woman, honestly? Who cares about this?
Hi, Charlie.
You know, the OF model turned Christian, OnlyFans model turned Christian, goes to talk with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk.
Hi, Charlie. I'm Nala Ray. It's so nice to be here today. So I was one of OnlyFans' top models for the last 5 years. And
I never saw that part. That is so funny. That is so funny. Because she's like this Christian, right? She turned Christian. She got married. And I remember seeing when she came out right now. It's one of those things like you want to toe the middle line here and be like, okay, well, I don't want to judge, right? Because like if you want to change your life and turn it around, fine. But you know, it's like screw the middle line. You know, I'm not judging her. I don't care. I'm not a judge. I'm not hating her. It's just anybody can say that, right? And it's just it's like everybody who becomes a Christian, especially publicly, and especially if they had like a hard past, and especially if they're a woman, they adopt that language, the Christianese language, which denotes that you are saved. It's always seems so phony to me, but whatever. Like doing random videos here in the last few minutes, you know, I remember why I didn't even get to this because it's like whatever. She just basically says, and Charlie Kirk basically just chimes in and is like, guys, fellas, we need to be better, fellas. We're the ones feeding the whole industry. And it's like, fine, that's a fine point. Why am I even giving him such a sarcastic voice as I'm, remembering his words here? It's like I've said something like that myself. It's just so easy for him to just, I don't know what it is. It's just too easy for him to, maybe I'm a maniac. Maybe it's me. I'm the villain. Clearly I've become a villain, but the world is so messed up, okay, that it's just so easy to just team up and be like, oh yeah, Nala, you're awesome. You're right. You're just, these men, let's finger wag on the men. And they're wrong. Honestly, men, the world wouldn't be so evil if it wasn't for us. It's just so easy for him. And I don't know. Maybe I'm clear. I can admit it. Maybe I'm the villain here. Maybe I'm the villain. Maybe I'm the villain in that I've allowed the world, the dark world to black pill me. Oh, don't let the world black pill you. But, I don't feel anything about it. I'm kind of honest about it. But I can admit that maybe I'm feeling something about it. Maybe I'm feeling something about it. And this has caused me to be a villain, and I'm wrong for that. But it's just, come on, Charlie.
I mean, we've seen states that have made it harder to...
Am I wrong in this, folks? What do you think?
And I got saved. And
go. I got saved. Get off. No, never show your face on camera ever again. Never, ever show your... It's like, oh, Nick, she's allowed to show her face on camera. But... in a sense, I'm not asking her to prove it. Prove that you're saved. Like who? To me, I don't care. But it's just maybe I'm a villain. I hate this.
So I want to know, would you support a ban on porn in America, and what would you do to make that happen?
She still does porn. It's just Christian porn.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's legal, but absolutely.
You think when she's cooking on those TikToks and she's like, oh, then you still see her shape. It's Christian porn.
First of all, porn is no different than a digital opiate and an addiction. We've seen states that have made it harder to access, and porn rates have gone down. Yeah. But you were once an OnlyFans model. Yeah. What would you have to say to the danger and
but I'm saved now.
Damage that does to young people?
Honestly,
the damage it does. Look, OnlyFans. Look, the damage it does to young people. What I'll understand this damage he's even describing. Okay, this perversion he's describing. He's saying this damage that is happening to young people, men, women, etc. They're screwing up relationships, their minds, what they're seeing. What is at the core of this perversion? Who is the purveyors of this perversion? Who are the defenders of this perversion? At the very core of it is the women. Because it's their bodies, it's the body positivity, it's the I should be allowed to wear this and do this, and what is all that commentary? When women say they should be allowed to wear this and do all that, they're saying we should be allowed to exert our, and I use this word with awareness, knowing how false it is in a sense, right? It's only in the mind, but it's them saying allow us to exert our power with impunity. Without any criticism. Allow us to, we want to exert and get and do what we want without criticism. So are we going to ever get to that? Are we ever going to get to the core there? Because you could slap a dress on her. You could slap a dress on her and call her a Christian, but it's still the same attention-seeking perversion spirit that did it all in the first place. You understand? That's kind of where I'm coming at it from. Maybe I'm a villain. Maybe I'm a maniac. But I hate this. I don't know. I'm personally, I'm not really hating it. Like in my mind, I see right through it. But this is, I'm also leaving space where you guys could tell me otherwise, huh? In my mind, I see right through it. I'm not hating it.
It has different effects on men than it does women. Like for men, it shuts them down. They don't know how to be in good relationships. They don't know how to treat women. For women, it's all emotional.
That's not why. Okay, the porn's not doing that. Okay, if anything, this is a not daytime talk. For some, anyways, where was I? See, I hadn't even watched this fully. Like I don't even have a thing on this. Where was I? Look, Charlie Kirk.
Honestly, so much. It depends on sex as well. It has different effects on men than it does women. Like for men, it shuts them down. They don't know how to be in good relationships. They don't know how to treat women. For women, it's all emotional, and they just continue to get compared to the women in porn. You know?
I said what I had to say, but he says right. Oh, it's men. If only you stopped, right? If only you stopped consuming that. Like that's one aspect of it. It's a fine criticism, right? It's a fine criticism. A look upon the men. What happened? But whatever. To see it fully, you got to see how it's all porn. Even when you put the dress on and you call it Christian, it's all this attention seeking and wrong crusade. It's just the wrong crusade. You know, you're attacking what? Like this is the stuff that creates babies. Yeah, it can be shallow like the rest of the things of the world, but really, you guys want to start there? You guys want to start with men's lust? Like, yeah, self-control, let's keep it control, but this is the crusade. This is what's wrong with relationships. This is what's wrong with the birth rates. Men's lust? No. That's like, you want to go there, you're going to really end society. Like, Jesse said, that's the last thing you got to overcome, right? Food and sex. But on a serious note, that's not the toxic, what's ruining all that. Come on, let's be real. Men's lust is what's the things I described. Let me. We got to start closing up here. I think a few years ago, not that long ago, she would have been arrested for wearing pants in public. But anyways, what was she saying? What else was it? Anything else interesting about this?
Is that you guys get to hide behind some screen. You are contributing to the dehumanization and delegitimization of millions of young women.
They love the dehumanization. They love it, Charlie. They love the dehumanization. They love it, Charlie. The men are just like getting a thrill, right? They're just like, okay. It's crazier too, right? The implications of OnlyFans. I've said this before, right? But the implications are what? In a world where pornography is free, the men are paying for like false connection with people, a uniqueness. Oh, something. Oh, this. She responded to my DM, and that makes me feel nice. That's what the men are paying for in the OnlyFans world. That's. What does that mean too? I used to bring up that relationship as a strange implication of how weak men are, and it's true, men are weak. But there's another point to that. Think about this for a second. In a world where pornography is free, you have to start thinking, well, what is it that they're paying for? Right? We've concluded already they're paying for this connection, paying for something like that. There is right. It's like on the surface, you look at that and you're like, wow. Look at the state men are in. Look at how weak they are. True. But on the other side, furthermore, on this topic on women, and this comes from Christian women and conservative women, they all see this as really nasty, particularly nasty. It's something that needs to be controlled. Should he look upon another woman? Should he look at a dirty magazine? That constitutes cheating. But wait a second. These nasty incel men who are just paying for sanitized prostitution that is dehumanizing the young women of the world. When it gets down to brass tacks, what they want to pay for is a little bit of connection. Yeah, beta, yeah, but definitely not the monsters you thought. You feel me? Not the monsters these monster misogynists. Honestly, women are they're really the barbarians, right? They're the ones who think in the way that they blame the men for, in my opinion. Isn't that a little bit of evidence for that? Yeah, weak. Sure, the world is weak, but not the monsters you thought, huh? They're just looking for a little connection, a little love, and those people are sick too. Understand that's the evil of the world, right? Anybody seeking love, even anyone despair, anyone desperate can find themselves in the same position as a killer. Okay? So it's not that funny. It's not that funny. But tell me where I'm wrong. Anyways, what do you got to say, Jaime? You got something to say about houses?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Jaime out of Minnesota.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you, man, if you want to buy a house, a guy wants to buy a house, they can buy a house.
Just do it, huh? Nike?
Yeah, if you want to. I mean, all you really need is a consistent job, consistent work record. You go to the bank, they borrow you the money, give you a piece of paper, you take it to a realtor, and they show you what you can get.
They show you how much house you could buy?
15. Yeah, I mean, there's people on welfare that are buying a house.
Mm-hmm. But they're on welfare or they have a program.
Well, I'm just saying.
They have some assistance there.
Yeah. So
that would be different. That would be different than that would be a bad example for the average person, right?
Well,
to bring up the person on welfare.
I'm saying all you got to have is a little bit of brains to know how to fill out forms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do. I mean, if a welfare person got no brains, got no work ethic, can do it, then a guy like you could possibly buy a house, I think.
I don't doubt it. I'm not doubting it. It's just someone posted that on my Discord. But you're saying just do it, huh? You're just saying it's just a matter of signing some forms. It's just a matter of signing some forms, picking that house, and being an owner.
That's how I did it.
Fair enough.
I bought a house late in life. Shoot, you don't even have to have a down payment. You got all kinds of programs that borrow you the money for the down payment.
Interesting, man. Very cool.
Yeah, so don't let them charts, sway you.
One thing a chart should not sway you. I mean, I'm talking. This is from someone without experience, right? If I had the experience and told you I tried buying a house and blah blah blah, I would tell you guys, right? But one thing we have to know this just has to be a known thing about life. You can't let a chart stop you from trying, right? So I like trying, at least finding out for yourself what it all means, right? So yeah, okay, you're saying it's a matter of just making it happen. Okay, well, appreciate the encouragement, Jaime. If I may,
there's people. Go ahead.
What year did you buy your house? If you could
23.
say even.
I bet you it was 23.
2023. Well, there you go.
That was just yeah.
Well, there you go. Are you going to amortize it all? You got to. You're going to, pay it off faster?
I guess. That'd be smart.
Amortization. You don't just make the monthly mortgage payment. If you make a payment on top of that, even a small one, you'd be surprised how much money and time you save down the road. A little concept known as amortization, huh?
I was thinking about getting a HELOC so I could buy a jacuzzi for the backyard.
Amortize my debt and save money and shorten my the time I have on this loan and be financially responsible, or a jacuzzi.
Yeah. I mean, you got people working minimum wage jobs, don't speak a lick of English, and they got houses.
No, it's true.
Trailer houses, but still a house.
It's true. I was talking to, this was a while ago now, but I've seen a couple examples of this. These people come together, foreigners, and they pool their money together and start buying stuff straight up.
Yeah,
now, I wonder how they make it work. I've heard others who get into, someone pointed out to me that they don't know anybody who's gotten into real estate as a group, but whatever. What were you saying, sir?
The plight of the white man think he can't do anything.
Oh,
they told the white man he's not good enough or he can't. They really stunned him. It's time for the white man to get out of the hallucination. Stop being so hypnotized. Start doing stuff.
Yeah, you think that's the main factor here?
Yeah. Hypnotization.
I don't even know the landscape on that home ownership. What that even looks like. It's just everybody now. It's just like everybody in my mind. It seems like just down across the board, everybody's just owning less homes. But yeah, it could be. It could be the white man is owning less homes and they're just afraid.
Yeah, it's fear. It's not because they can't do it; they can do it.
Yeah, I'm personally not familiar, but that's one thing for sure. Thinking you can't means you definitely can't, and that is just the absolute truth.
Yeah.
No matter what. Thank you, Jaime. Anything else you want to say?
Okay. No. Have a good one.
Call me again. This anger right here. If you can't beat him, join him. Is that what you're saying, CSS Element? I mean, I don't know if you guys get that. It's you got to start jumping the line. You got to start jumping the line, looking at the code, getting the loopholes. Like, for real. You guys get that, right? Jump the line, make the call. Oh, that's the rule. Oh, but the rules are I'm on a waiting list. Call the person, give them a sob story. It's time to make it happen because it's third world America. I don't want to say that. It's not exactly true, but what the? Is that my cue to go? It might be, actually. That was just playing by accident there. But yeah, what do y'all think? Or is that too far? Allowing the scammer mindset. You don't become what you hate. That's terrible. Is that a terrible path? Huh? I'm not saying be a scammer. I'm just saying no, not cheat. No, don't be a scammer. Don't be a scammer. It's like there are in place in a lot of different areas tools, a number of tools. They call them tax breaks in certain places. They call them incentives. I can't even, you got to look it up yourself. You got to do the work and kind of make it happen. They call it grants. First-time home buyer grants. They call them all sorts of things. They're sometimes racial. They're sometimes straight up. They are sometimes afforded to people because being in a minority group, etc. So they got them, right? They got them. That's what I'm saying. CSS Element gets it. Hack to survive. So no, don't cheat. I'm not telling you to cheat, be a scammer. Adopt the incoming culture too much, too far. No, just be like serpents, right? Isn't that something? Smart about it. You got it. It's pretty interesting subject, CSS Element says. Scamming has become more regulated, so to speak, and honest people don't have a chance. Like when high-trust society Americans travel to third world countries. A number of things are like that. Basically, either you're smart and you are working within the filters or you're not. It's like dating. Consider for a moment. Oh, no, I can't say that. I got to save that. Hold on. I got to save that. We're saving that discussion. But anyways, I think it's one last call here in the last bit here. We got Maze out of Dayton, Ohio. Thank you for your call. You're on the air.
Hello, Nick.
How you doing, Maze?
Yeah, I was looking at some research on the South Africans in the town with all white, of the 3,000 people.
Orania.
Guess what they didn't want there?
What?
They don't want white criminals.
That's. I think I heard him say something like that on the JLP show.
They're not accepted.
Is that so?
Huh?
No way. So no. If you're a criminal, they don't want you there either.
Not accepting white criminals.
What do you think about that?
I think if America would wake up to see that they're criminals just like everybody else, maybe they can see something. And then I don't understand why, if you're taking people
So
out
you
the
support
country,
him. You support Orania.
excuse me?
So you support
If that's what they
Orania.
want, they don't want no white criminals.
You support them in their desire for a more pure culture, a more pure society.
They want a pure place, and they didn't take it.
Pure in its injustice, right, and its lack of criminality.
That's not what I'm saying. They don't want criminals. They say they don't want white criminals. So
Okay.
if they don't want white criminals, that's what they sending over here. The reason why they couldn't send them over there.
Well, wait, how do you know that?
Well,
Oh,
that's
you're
why I
asking the
asked-
question.
I don't know. I'm
You're
just
asking
saying-
the question.
Yes.
Not necessarily, Maze. You know that. In fact, I'd
But
bet
then-
you more likely.
Well, it was a place for them to go.
What?
It was a place for them to go.
You said there's a place for them to go?
And they could have sent them there instead of bringing them to America. Because if you putting people
What's this
out,
other place to go that you're talking about?
why are you bringing people in? I don't understand.
But you're saying they had another place to go? What do you mean?
Yes, they could have went to the town with all Caucasian people.
Oh, Orania or whatever. Well,
Yes, and want
consider-
criminals. Or are they sending them over here?
well, consider for a moment that
They don't want them?
We'll put it like this, Maze. What basically happened is when Trump designated the Afrikaner and all that as the refugee, they're not all going to come, but you're going to get maybe a few. When you get a population, when you get a crowd of anything, you're going to get a few
I'm not
concerning
talking
this.
about the crowd.
Consider why is the assumption that they needed to go to Orania?
Because it's all white country.
But put it like this, Maze.
Oh, not country, but place. That they were specifically put for them, which took probably some of our money in order to get them started. That's what I'm saying. They had some place to go. Some refugees don't have no place to go.
But that's not a good point.
They just put them over here.
Right, but the
So if
point
they
is
had
this.
and if
The
they
point
was
is simply
running
is you're
from-
saying they could have just gone to Orania, but the point
Yes.
is this, Maze, they could have just gone to America. The point
They
is
said they need
the
more
point
people.
the point that you're speaking
point is-
around
No.
is why are they even being designated as refugees? That's the point you're speaking around.
That's what I'm trying to say. Why couldn't they send them
Exactly.
there?
Well, allow me to tell you.
They
I'm sure you
criminals, but
already
they're
know.
Because they didn't want them. That's what
Allow
I'm
me to
saying.
tell you. You're saying they could have gone to Orania or they could have gone to the States, and you're wondering why. Well, you're missing the point, Maze. Why did they have to go to Orania or the States in the first place?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, why do you think?
Because they was on somebody's land that was not theirs.
Well, there you go. You could put it like that. That's a
Now, I'm
nice,
putting it
cute
like that,
way
but
of.
I'm saying,
That's a
if
cute way
Orania
of
didn't
putting
want
it.
criminals,
It's also a
and
bit
then
of a.
and they went there.
It's also a retelling of history. You've changed history there. I thought you were doing your homework, Maze.
I was.
You don't know
And
that
then-
the South.
and the whiners are what-
You don't know that South Africa was started by the whites.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. You deny
No, it
this? I thought you were doing
No,
your
it wasn't.
homework. Who started
No, it
it
wasn't.
then?
I already do my homework.
Who started South
Now,
Africa?
so, and I have another question.
Who started the nation of South Africa?
Who started the nation? Who was born in Africa? And who
That's a different
was
question,
the
Maze.
people of Africa? That's who started it.
That's a different question.
It's like America.
Wait,
You
started
think
what?
The Native Americans were not here first.
What do you mean?
I guess you say the white power started that too.
What do you mean
Not
they started
The
America?
white power. That's who started it.
Correct. They started America.
No, they didn't.
Well,
so and that's not what I call you.
Well,
I
you know
call to
that's
ask you
just not
about
true.
this medical stuff. Now, when they did the insulin and they brought the price down with the insulin,
Yeah.
and then when Trump came in, he took it away. Now he's putting it back, and then they were saying that's because they said they had to go to court in order to get it passed.
Say that
So
again.
they
What
got
happened with
that,
the
and
insulin?
Can I finish? So they had more drugs, some more drugs that was
It's
going
just that you know about this more than I do, actually. But I'll let you speak.
and they said they had some more drugs that were going to go down too. But now he's claiming that he's doing it. Just like the tariffs. He caused all of this stuff with the tariffs. Now he's turning around saying he's going to fix it. I'm confused.
So what happened with the insulin?
I need somebody to help me out.
I'm not remembering or not familiar.
I'm familiar with you. Was talking about the drug prices coming down.
I was talking about this recent thing he did, but you said
Yes, the recent, but
what
he
were you
was the
saying
one
about
that-
the insulin?
Yes, those were drugs when the Biden administration made the insulin cheaper because they had to go. They said it was a 50-year-old law or something that they had to fight in order to get those drugs for insulin to come
So
down.
I don't understand. So Trump is if I'm hearing you describe this, Trump is basically doing more of a good thing, something you agreed with?
No, that's not what I'm saying. He is doing what was already been done.
I don't know if that's true.
Yes, it is, because he cut the departments. He cut the money for the departments, and now all of a sudden.
But Biden did not institute anything like.
Go back when they was running the.
If you,
Go
if
back
I,
and look
here's
when
the
they were
thing
running
though,
the campaign.
no, but Maze, you're missing the point of it. Here's the central thing about what's significant about Trump's thing here, is what does he call it? The best country policy. Now I forget what he called it here, but that's the central part of this whole thing, is the order to make the drug the exact price as it is in the lowest price country. You understand that?
They was doing.
That's what
And
Biden
then
was
it's
doing?
Like the Arabs. I mean, not the Arabs, but the Muslim ban. He gonna give him a Muslim ban this time. He gave one the first time.
Wait,
so
you
he over there
switched.
hooking up with him.
You just did a 1-2 there,
you.
Maze.
Huh?
You just did a 1-2 in the same sentence.
I'm
You went
asking
from
you
drug
questions.
prices to Muslim bans.
That's what I'm saying. He can't take credit for the drug prices because they were already gonna come down, regardless.
Nobody can.
Sets it up. That look like he's fixing it. So now with the Muslim ban, are we gonna get one this time?
So Biden, you're saying Biden instituted this the best country policy thing like he's doing here?
Yes.
You're saying yes on that. Okay.
I'm saying he destroyed it. Now he act like he's fixing it. Just like what he did with the tariffs.
I think
now
Maze
he act
doesn't
like
know, chat.
he messed it up.
I think Maze doesn't know.
Well,
So
the
we'll move
confusion-
on. What else did you want to say?
I asked you about the Muslim ban. Do you think
What
we're gonna
about the
get one
Muslim
this-
ban?
Do you think we're gonna get one this time?
I don't know. We didn't
Well,
get
look
one.
like he over
We
there
didn't get
hooking
one
up.
initially.
Last time he was president, that's what he did.
Uh huh.
Look like he over there walking and talking to the Muslims now.
Nice.
And I wonder
You
how
can
y'all
ban.
feel
You
about
can
it.
ban them, but you can still make deals. You can.
You was mad with him the first. you was
That's
mad-
called working with people, Maze. Isn't that
really?
a sign of someone who wants to work with
Really?
people? That's
No,
an
that's not
amazing
what-
thing. Someone who wants to say, "Hey, we are who we are here, and you are who you are over there." But that doesn't mean we can't be friends and make deals and negotiate and have a peaceful world.
Yeah.
Who do you
That's where you
trust
want-
more?
and-
Who do you trust more? Someone who says that, or someone who lies and says we're all the same and we can all be a big happy family, even though we all hate each other, have different beliefs and thoughts and everything, and
I don't
and,
trust
and
people that
believe and we're all living in this country believing
I-
that the white man deserves there needs to be a
You talking
racial
about white man.
reparation.
You talking about white power?
You
That's the
believe
only
in
way
that,
to
right?
get
You want racial justice.
white power. Like a few of them that be on here calling.
Yeah, you in fact you agree with the ANC saying that
who?
the ANC, the government ruling South Africa.
I might
You-
agree with the United Nations. since
Put it
they
like
all
this though, Maze.
Whole nations
You
together.
agree
working.
at the core they see these people escaping.
Yeah.
These people are escaping justice. Do you see
I'm
that
saying,
same
what
thing?
justice are they escaping?
Do
Some
you see
created,
it the same way, Maze? Do you see these South Africans as
I don't.
escaping justice?
No, if they had a place to go, they didn't have to come over here because.
But
who's
they
gonna
didn't
take-
have. But they came. But they're
It's
coming
land
here.
they
But
used
they're coming
right
here
here.
because they're escaping this violence and all the things they're saying
What
they are.
violence?
I'm asking you, Maze. Do
That's
you
a made
think
up
they're?
stuff
Do you think that these people are? Are they? Are they escaping violence and are they true refugees or are
They
they?
look like they was escaping
Or what are
anyway.
they doing?
Look like they're coming over here because the country that they could have went to don't want them because they're criminals.
Well, that's just speculation. You're
You see
saying
it that way?
you're assuming and speculating that they wanted to go to
They're taking in
Orania. Hold
criminals.
on, Maze. You're speculating that they wanted to go to Orania, but that they were denied because they were criminals. That's just some nasty speculation
they
coming
don't have
from
no other place
a
to
nasty
go.
person. You're
No
much
place
too
to-
old for that
That's how
nastiness,
America got
Maze.
started because they were
You're,
thrown out of
you're
where?
much too grown for such nastiness of
Answer your question,
speculating
Nate.
about someone that in
Who's
that
thrown
way.
out of- who's
So
thrown out of
moving
hell?
on
Who's
from the
thrown out of a country?
speculation, I'm asking you a question, Maze. Moving on from the speculation that you're saying that they were denied access to Orania because they're white criminals. That's just your speculation.
They said they were not accepted.
Besides
No
that,
words
I
come
didn't.
out.
I don't know who says they were not accepted. We don't know that. You don't even know that.
You don't have to do that. You can see it for yourself.
No, they decided to come here. As far as we know, they decided to take upon this refugee status
On a
and come
pri-
to
on a- on a
America.
private
We don't
plane.
know anything about them being
they went
denied
through everything.
citizenship to
They already-
Orania because they're criminals. That's something you made up.
I
Now
really
that being
admitted
said,
it.
I got a question for you, Maze. Hold on. I got a question for you.
What's that?
So if they are not fleeing the persecution and being refugees, then what are they doing, Maze, in your estimation, in your mind?
They coming over here because they don't want it in the other place.
Fair enough. I guess you did say.
That's what I did say. So what are you talking about?
Fair enough. You're reiterating your nasty
They had no place to
speculation.
go.
You have no clue. Right. They have no place to go. You say
So they had a place to go,
because
but
they're
they- they
criminals.
Yes,
They say because
I'm wondering if they're unloading another
it's
group of criminals.
conspiratorial, Maze. It's wild, actually.
You
You have no evidence of it,
give you
but
one?
you're just like, you know what? These people are coming here because they're criminals.
No, I didn't say that.
They're
I
saying-
said they coming here because they didn't want them in the country that was an all-white country, and they saying they need people.
Again, you're
But they're
saying
saying they need
you're
people.
saying they were denied entrance into Orania. Now
Orania
initially you said because they were criminals. Now you're saying they were just denied.
I didn't say
Why?
that.
Why, Maze? Why were they in your mind denied?
Orania said they did not want criminals.
You said what?
They said they didn't want criminal people to come into their country, white people, criminals. That you're not allowed. So if it's 3,000 of them, and then they say they need more people, why didn't they help them with their population?
Well, you
Unless they're
say.
criminals and they don't want them.
I say because they didn't want to. What else can we say?
I say that
What else can we conclude?
They bring more criminals over here.
What else can we conclude? Why would
Then who's gonna take
why
care
would
of
you go to a crazy conclusion like that? We don't know, so we can
Because
only
that's the
conclude.
door open, it's only
We
the
don't
door
know.
open.
We don't know, so we can only
Here,
conclude
if you
they
run it-
because they wanted to. They didn't want to go to Orania, and they can't stay home because they got a genocidal black leadership. So
But
they
why-
decided to come here. We can only
But why
assume
does
that,
Orania-
right? You say you went conspiratorial with it, and
Saying
you're
like,
like,
Orania want
no,
more
these
people?
Oh, well, you know
It's been the
what?
best place for
I
them to
heard
go.
I
And then
heard
you got this
Orania
American
doesn't
over here
want.
talking about
I heard
these-
Orania doesn't want criminals, and these people didn't go to Orania. 1 + 1. Oh, ergo, these people are criminals. That's how your mind thinks, Maze. That's
I said
crazy.
they didn't want criminals, so they must. I asked you, were they criminals? The reason they didn't want them.
I don't know, but you're
That's all you had to-
you're the one saying that they
You
are.
have to go in your dreamland.
No, you're in dreamland, Maze. We
No,
can
no,
all
no,
see
no,
it.
no.
Maze,
I'm
come
saying-
down from the clouds. That's crazy,
Nah,
Maze. That's
go
actually
under the
crazy.
clouds.
That's sincerely nuts. You should.
And
That's,
I'm wondering what's wrong with these white power Caucasians that they think somebody wants them, and two of them don't look for nothing but black criminals.
Huh?
Two of them under the bed. Everything they do is black criminals, black this and black this. Blacks have never done anything to them, and then they watch TV videos and some of them on TikTok and looking at all this stuff. Some of that stuff is not real.
And
But
what
then
did
you
South
got
Africans
TikTok.
do to you?
Huh?
Hey, whatever you say. What did the blacks do to them? What did the white South
That's what I'm
Africans do to
trying to say.
Maze?
Well, I'm telling you, my man. When I watch,
What did the white South
I'm gonna
Africans
tell you
do
what
to
they do.
Maze?
I'm gonna tell you what they do. Every day you watch the TV, you got black criminals. Then every day you look on and you can, in different states, you know people. They commit crimes, but it's not being reported.
What did the white South
And
Africans
then
do
you
to
saying that
Maze?
and they always screaming that somebody's after them. Guilt. Yeah, what kind of guilt? The guilt is that they want to be white power, to have power over other people. So when they get rid of that flavor, because it's not our problem, they were told that their population was going to shrink. It's not our problem. They blame that on us too, and our people.
That Orania is gonna shrink?
They blame the Mexicans. They blame the ones in Canada. They blame the Native Americans. Blame everybody except themselves.
Fair enough, Maze. Yeah, I've been
No,
trying to
it's
tell
more
them.
they-
I've been trying
they
to tell
need
them
them
something
whining.
similar, but you know,
But when you go to a fight with the Bible, put
it's
it down.
connected. It's
act like it
honestly
don't exist.
closely connected.
What's closely connected?
The nations that are declining, their inability to the
They're declining all over the world.
growing enmity and inability to understand between each other, the men and women.
Nick, they are declining all over the world.
And the demographic
something God is
replacement.
doing.
It's all
Not us.
related, Maze.
It's like if God
It's
is doing it, we're not.
closely related.
So stop trying to make us every criminal under the bed, because we're not. Because that's all you hear them say. They watch TV all day. Well, then they watch those.
Would you want to
YouTube-
live in South Africa, Maze?
What?
Would you want to live in South Africa?
Would I want to live there?
Yeah.
If was there something there for me to live for?
No, but let's say
This country, I was born here.
just economic,
would-
just
I
like
would go-
just
I would go and visit.
qualitatively speaking.
You want to go visit
If
South
I
Africa?
gave you two choices where to live, where would you want to live?
Where I am,
Fair enough. Would
there
you?
shouldn't be no choice.
If I told
Say,
you
we the
I'm
people?
going to put you in South Africa,
That's what I'm trying to say. That means you just white power there.
would you be happy?
Not let them go willingly.
If I said you had to live in South Africa, would you be happy?
If you said so.
Yeah, or whatever. If the world
That's
said
the
so, or
problem.
for
Just
some
say
reason in
it,
this
and then
hypothetical
change by
scenario,
God.
you have to
Ain't
go to
nothing
South
about
Africa.
it.
You would be happy. You'd be okay with it.
Why are you an anchor baby?
Why am I an anchor baby? Because my mother abused the immigration laws.
Oh, really?
Fair and square.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did she abuse it, brother? Because some people got dual citizenship, so why don't you have
Right. And they're abusing.
How
maybe-
they
I
abusing?
don't know. Depends on what you speak of. But if this dual
Some
citizenship
have
person,
dual citizenship and some can't get dual citizenship.
I mean, it depends on what you mean. But
Why can't they?
for me, it's like let's say you're a dual citizen and let's say you're in the government. Well, now it's like okay.
I could have dual citizenship for all you know. Oh, and people want to know what I look
What's
like.
the point you're making? Okay, last thing. Go ahead. Then I gotta let you go.
They wanted to know what I look like. I look like the original Statue of Liberty.
What?
That's what I look like. And
The
take a look,
original?
go look it up and see, and you'll see what she
The
looks like.
original Statue
What?
of
Yes,
Liberty.
the original one. That's what I look like. That fake one that's sitting up there is not the real one.
So
I look exactly
even the
like
Statue of Liberty was black?
What?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were about to tell me that.
No, you look up.
My
the
bad,
original-
my bad, Maze. I thought you were about to tell me that the original Statue of Liberty was black. You know how they say everybody was black?
Yeah,
Like
Nick.
they even say Abraham Lincoln was black.
computer,
I
look
thought
up.
you were about to tell me the Statue of Liberty was black originally.
What I tell you, do if you look it up, you can see what she
I
look
will.
Like.
I'm gonna do a little
You wanna know
homework,
what I
Maze.
look like?
I'm gonna do a little Maze homework.
Go look it up, and then you can show your
Lady
people
Liberty, is this wow?
Fender now.
Maze.
Yes.
Lady
That's what I
Liberty.
look like. Not the second one. I look like the first one.
This one.
What she look like, Nick? Are you shocked?
With the one holding the lamp up?
Are you shocked? That's the original one.
That's the original one,
You
huh?
think it changed?
I thought you were just joking.
Yeah, you
the
thought the
original
one that-
Lady Liberty was black.
Without no.
They were all black. I'm learning.
They changed the way her dress was because she had shackles on her feet, and they changed it and put the second one up there to make it look like. So they want to know what I look like. That's my size, and that's what I look like.
Well, there you go.
Don't be afraid.
Maze. I've never been less afraid.
History speaks for itself. Tell them, don't get mad. I can't help it. That's not my problem. It's not my fault.
Fair
when you see
enough.
the school with your own eyes, maybe you'll believe it.
Hey, she can't help it, chat.
And you need to read the little plaque that's up under it of the one that they got now, and you need to read that too.
Amazing.
So you go visit the Statue of Liberty, you might find some history and learn something too. You learn from being there, not learn from TikTok and all these different places and Fox and all these places you get your hatred news from.
I'm gonna do some homework.
Yeah.
Will you learn about the
Free
founding
America.
of South Africa?
What?
Will you learn about the founding of South Africa
I did.
and
And it wouldn't be hard for
its
you to
and
do
its
either.
white roots?
No.
How many years does a culture? How many years does a
With white
people
roots.
have to be in an area for them to be from
tell
there?
you when they got there, Nick, and how they got there.
How long does a people have to be somewhere for them to be from there?
How long do they have to be?
Yeah.
You tell me. White power says.
No, you tell
when
me.
they-
You're the one saying that they're not from there. How long does a people have to be in an area to be from there?
That's Native Americans. They can tell you.
Well, okay, some of them, in some cases, white people were there much longer than ethnic and indigenous populations.
Yeah, if you say so.
Okay.
They got food and they
Let's
think they
say-
were doing everything.
let's say-
They can't
let's say
say
I-
nothing.
let's say it
They
wasn't-
cannot tell me nothing they have done.
Let's say it
And
wasn't
do
a lie. Let's say in your mind it's just a lie, but let's say it wasn't a lie that you could prove that actually, yeah, the Dutch were there for hundreds of years. Would you then say, well, you know what? That is then they are from there.
No, everybody came
Is it
from somewhere that
simply
was
is it
pure.
simply just that you just
Just like
don't
Nick, you
believe
go like
the
this,
history?
How did the racists get messed
What
up?
is it, Maze? Is it that you just don't? Because I'm trying to move on because I gotta go, Maze.
Okay, one more
I
thing.
really gotta go, Maze. So I gotta ask you this: what is it, Maze? Is it that you just simply don't believe the claims that they were there for that long, or is it that you don't
The
care
claims.
that Africa is for the black people?
Well, if you visit other places and different countries, you will know that some of this stuff in America is a lie.
So you just simply don't believe the history. If you
They
could
don't even
prove
believe what
if
they
you
put
could
out.
prove that the Dutch were there for hundreds of years, you would accept that South Africa was a white nation.
Prove that. That's the problem.
Okay, but for you, it's
I thought
simply you
that was
just
a-
don't trust the history.
I forgot the name of the place where some black people up and they won't even let nobody into the area. You come up in there, they won't even let you in there. You just get to the end of of the water, and that's as far as you can go. And they are pure and very healthy.
All right, Maze. I appreciate your call.
Okay.
Call me again. Amazing. All right, folks. I gotta go. I gotta go. We got homework to do, maybe, and I don't know everything. So appreciate it, Maze. For now, I must let you go. We're vacating the studio. I gotta get something ready here too. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be back tomorrow. We're doing something funny. Something different for our Friday show. Okay. I got some gear. We got some gears come in. So we'll be having fun tomorrow. Make sure you click the subscribe to the show, to the channel, so you're up to date with what we get up to. For now, take care. I'm out. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said. Open Line Friday, Black Friday on the JLP show, Fallen State, Hake Report, and the Anchor Baby. Take care for now. Appreciate the calls, the super chats, and all the topics. Bye.